What's happening, everybody? Happy Wednesday. It is Wednesday. Let's see. December 28th. October. Just going to show my little phone screen. It is December 28th. We're live. It's 8 a.m. here. I'm over in Phoenix now, so I'm on the West Coast, but not West Coast, but west side of the country. Same with our guests for the day, I think. We'll find out. We go live for Wake Up Legendary every single Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, and we bring on some guests, usually people who've gone through our training or had some success using the core 4 business models that we teach: affiliate marketing, digital courses, events and masterminds, or coaching and consulting. And those core 4 business models, we love them primarily because they all have 3 profit activators, and that's something that we teach in our 15-day challenge. If you haven't gone through our challenge, you can go to onlinebusinessbuilderchallenge.com and get started today. We go live for the purpose of bringing a little bit of inspiration, a little motivation, and we love bringing on guests. For instance, today we've got a dynamic duo coming on, Mary and Maggie, and I've never met them. We literally just chatted for like 30 seconds, and that's how we do it every day. And so the reason we do that is we like to sort of have a little bit of candid conversation, unscripted, and it makes it a little more fun, and it also makes it just a little bit more real, I think. And so today, if everybody here in the comments who's tuned in with us can give Mary and Maggie a little like hand clapping emoji in the comments. Let's bring on our guests. What's happening?
Hi, how are you?
Great. I'm doing well. How are you all?
We're doing okay. It's a little early, but we're hanging in there.
Sweet. Awesome. You guys are in Spokane, right?
Yeah. We just moved here a few months ago, and we're originally from California, so it's a little colder than what we're used to, but we're doing okay.
Hanging in there.
Yeah, my wife was born in Seattle and then lived in Spokane for a little bit. She went to college there and stuff, and now we live down in Phoenix. Got a little bit warmer up there. It's pretty chilly up there, but you're surviving.
I'm actually really envious that you guys are in Phoenix right now. It's probably the weather is probably great.
Fantastic right now.
It's epic. Yeah, it's really great. It's 60 to 70 degrees every day, and just kind of like. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about you all. So first of all, you look like twins. Are you sisters, twins? Okay.
We're twins. Yeah. What gave it away?
I mean, just the finishing of each other's sentences and.
Yeah, that's a bad habit.
I love it. Cool. Well, tell us a little bit about you guys, and tell us about how. I want to know, how did you find Legendary, and I want to know also. Because you've tried other things before, so tell us about the journey to finding Legendary and other things that you tried before us.
It's a long journey. So it started.
Take us back to the beginning, because here's why. A lot of times when we go to our masterminds or to different, when we interview different clients or when we talk to people who are taking our challenge, a lot of them have tried a lot of different things, and it helps give context to their journey, their story. And a lot of times there's moments of connection and there's moments of attachment throughout that process where people finally feel like somebody gets them. So tell us about maybe your first online venture, and tell us how you eventually ended up here.
Okay, so I think it started in 2020. Yeah, I think, and for a lot of people, I think 2020 is kind of the the beginning point of their journey too. When they, when at first you have to stay home, and then you decide, well, home's not so bad to, it's not so bad to stay at home all the time, and we wanted to figure out how to make money from home so we could stay home, because our background is in childcare, and if you've been in childcare, it's really long hours because you have to be there before and after regular people are at work. So the hours are long, and there's a lot of kids. The ratios are terrible. So we had to find a way to make money from home, essentially. And so I think one of the first things we tried was drop shipping. And it was okay, but it was a mild success.
Cool.
It worked, but the problem is that the shipping times were crazy back then because it was the whole COVID thing. So things were taking like 3 or 4 weeks just to arrive.
Just a process.
It was so bad. It was so bad, and so people were getting angry, and we were like, "Well, I'm just trying to drop ship," and so we had to do the customer service. We had to do the, and that was just like we're pretty meager people, so we don't want to sit there and apologize over and over, and people are angry. It's like, don't get angry at me. It's like, oh, just blame China. Like, don't shoot the messenger. Like, okay. So that was too much anxiety around that. So
you're doing customer service. People are messaging you. Where's our stuff? And I was just looking at this photo the other day. I should have pulled it up, but it was a photo of that huge shipping container boat that got stuck in the Suez Canal, and we were making a point of basically like, just imagine being that powerless where you can't get your product to your people.
Right. Yep. Yeah. That was exactly it. It was taking ages and at least a month just to ship out. And so we didn't want that with our faces like attached to it, because we had tried like social media and trying to make like a public Instagram and things like that. So we really didn't want us representing that. So we moved on. I think it was crypto next. Yeah, crypto. And it did really good. It did really, really great for a while. And then it didn't. And so it's like, okay, now what? Because crypto was doing, it had that big jump, which was awesome. But then, and then it dropped. And
kind of a roller coaster.
Oh yeah. So we moved to physical products next, and that was mildly successful. But again, if you do take the 15-day challenge, they go over the core 4, and you figure out that like physical products just isn't sustainable when you're the only person. Well, they were handmade too. Yeah. So,
oh wow. Were you like selling on Etsy or what?
Yeah. And so it's like, okay, it was a mild success, but then you're spending hours of your time into it. You're only getting a couple things out at a time, so it's not super sustainable. You'd have to sell hundreds of things just to make a living with a decent enough price. And so then we found Legendary through Instagram. We were just scrolling through, and we found Legendary. So like, okay, $7 course. Okay, I can learn a thing or two. So
wow, cool, so cool. I wonder too, for people who there's lots of people who come in our community who have tried to sell via drop shipping or sell a physical product or something like that, and they enjoy it, and it's sort of like this side hobby, makes them a little extra money, gets them going, and it just, isn't it interesting how it just opens the mind to like, wow, okay, there's money transacted in this thing called the internet out here, and maybe I could like grab my piece of that,
exactly.
And so you find Legendary, so when you went through our training, I'm curious, like in the drop shipping and in the Etsy, like, was that all just kind of you all figuring it out on your own the whole time? Wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Very like, you seem resourceful.
Yeah, I mean, more desperation. Like, we just want to stay at home and like figure it out, like whatever way we can. Because we're homebodies. We just like, I just want to be at home and cook and just hang out with my animals and stuff. But so we just wanted to figure out how could we just keep it going and just make money, because it's not like we mind working. I just want to be at home. That's it.
Makes sense. It makes sense. You like to do stuff like that. Cool. So cool. So tell me about after you start the drop shipping, you start the selling physical products. Tell me about the process of starting content creation. So did you start sort of during drop shipping or while you're selling your physical products? How did you market those, and how is that different than the marketing that you're doing now?
Well, we learned a lot, because when we started drop shipping, that was in like 2020. so we were really against making reels at the time because Instagram was just coming out with reels, and so we're like, no, I don't want it. It's like the TikTok crap. I don't want it. So we avoided that and just reached out to people, and because
we did a lot of like food stuff too. It was like kind of food oriented, so it was a lot of like food pictures. That was kind of
because our product that we were drop shipping was these beautiful aprons that were, you know, they were dirt cheap, but they were like this cotton apron that just people in our community they liked, and we reached out to some people, and then they were cross posting and stuff. So it was a lot different, our approach back then than it is now. Even because we're starting 2 different Instagrams now. So one is our Busy Homebodies one, and that's where we showcase like homesteading and urban farming and stuff. But now we're doing more of like an income based Instagram, like side hustle Instagram, and
helping people make money from home too, because we feel like everybody deserves that if they want to. But that both of those are 2 different approaches as well. Like with our side hustle Instagram, we are a little bit more direct.
Yeah, we're following the like the 15-day challenge, and like what they're teaching. We're following that approach just a little bit more, and like niching down and things like that.
Because with Busy Homebodies, I feel like we were a little too broad. There's a lot of mistakes that we made along the way, because that was just kind of us doing us.
Yeah, can I I'm so like just unbelievably curious about it. Can I share that Instagram on the screen? Are you okay with that?
Sure. Oh, it's a little embarrassing, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
Okay. So tell me just like a little bit when you said the one thing that you said was, you know, we made some mistakes along the way. Are you able to you're on a phone, but are you able to see my screen that I'm sharing?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So tell our audience, actually. I mean, it is not easy. You might be being very humble here, but it's not easy to get 50,000 followers any way online, especially not on Instagram. It's easier to do that on TikTok, I would say.
That's true. I think the strategy of posting a reel a day for 30 days, eventually the algorithm throws you into the wind. But I think that for us, we kind of had like our dynamic. At the time, we were in an apartment, and we were homesteading from an apartment, and that's really not easy to do. And we like had quail on our balcony, so that made us very different. We had like, you know, a breeding rabbit and things like that.
Because we were really concerned about food security and stuff back in 2020. We were like, oh my God, like the grocery stores and this and that. And so we caught the homestead bug, but we didn't have acres of land. So we're like, okay, right here, right now in an apartment. And I think that spoke to a lot of people.
And then we just sold physical products on the side. And that was just part of it.
Wow. So, I mean, okay, my brain is exploding here for a few reasons. One is, I mean, where did you learn to create content so well? And
thank you.
Well, I just feel like I haven't even watched any of your content, but I can kind of tell like this is probably going to be really good content, and it's set up really well.
No, we didn't learn from anywhere. Just
I think we've always kind of been entertainers, in the sense that we just like to like ta-da in front of people and just kind of get a reaction and make people laugh or whatever. So
so
I think that's kind of where it comes from.
Yeah, cool. Well, being resourceful keeps coming to mind. And it's funny that that's because like we have a homesteading theme here too. So like it's totally like that is being resourceful. But tell me about, so here's what I'm interested in. There's a lot of people here who have interests or hobbies or like want a certain lifestyle and aren't clear about how to like take, you know, like the simple pantry challenge, baking mixes, you know, or like or starting a ginger bug part 2, or easy popcorn in a jar. Like all of these things are getting unbelievable amount of views on your reels. And so I feel like you're getting lots and lots of views. You've grown a big followership now. How have you taken your interest, and how did you identify, like, wow, like we could speak to that? Because a lot of times people have a hard time connecting, like, oh, this is a niche, or this is an industry, or a specific area of or demographic of people that I can speak to directly. And here's what I want to know. How did you go from beginner to now? What I look at this content, I say, these are probably expert content creators.
Oh,
These
thanks.
are beast mode content creators.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. That's
Yeah,
that.
totally.
I mean,
How
it
did you go from that to that?
it took practice. I mean, your first reel is gonna suck. Your first bread is gonna suck. Your first YouTube video is gonna suck. Your first anything is just gonna suck. And so you're just gonna have to get better and better and better, because
I like that.
practice makes perfect. Yeah, that's all you got to do, and post a reel every day, and you'll find your people.
And keep posting.
Yeah,
But-
consistency is key, and just keeping up with it is eventually you find just your groove in it.
Do you research other accounts to get ideas, and what does that look like? Do you search around at all?
We're flying by the seat of our pants.
No way, really? Wow.
I mean, we do have like some inspirations like that, like
Sure.
got us to want to homestead. Like
Wow.
when we were in the apartment, like we would just watch YouTube and cry, like, I want a homestead, and like I want the cow, I want the acreage, I want to have a meat security going.
And it wasn't really until, we really had to decide for ourselves, like, homesteading doesn't need acres of land, because not a lot of people have acres of land. So that's just where we fell into it, is just homestead right where you are. You could be in a 900 square foot apartment, or you could be in a 6,000 square foot lot, which is where we are now, thank God. But just do it wherever you are. I
Wow.
think people like that. People want that too. They want the acreage, but they don't
Can't
have
afford it. Yep.
Yes, totally. And also, there's a lady who spoke at one of our masterminds probably 3 or 4 years ago. Her name's Leah, and she's an amazing entrepreneur. She's been doing digital marketing in various capacities, coaching, consulting, selling digital courses, been an affiliate, done all this stuff, and she and her husband bought a huge acreage in Oklahoma. Moved out to Oklahoma, middle of nowhere, and hated it.
Oh no.
They moved. They almost I don't know how long they lived there, but I think it was like less than a year, and they were immediately like, "We're out of here."
Wow.
And it was almost like a similar realization that you had there, which is like, I don't know that we absolutely need that huge thing to accomplish what we're trying to accomplish, which is that homesteading, which I just think is a really cool, innovative idea to start with, right? Like it's a very revolutionary idea to the idea of what people would assume is homesteading. So that's super cool too. And I bet that that's helped in your content creation, and that it's a unique idea.
Yeah.
It's a totally novel idea. So, wow. Okay. And you all are just plowing through, making reels, making a reel a day. Wow. What a commitment. What just a simple commitment. A reel a day, or a TikTok a day, or a YouTube video a day. And it is amazing. Over the last 4 years or so that I've been at Legendary, a little over 4 years, the amount of people who have become successful or found some sort of like online income success, let's call it, success with an online business, who will say something like that. Yeah, I mean, I just said, okay, I have to make a YouTube video every day. Yeah, I have to make 3 TikToks a day. And I didn't know how, but I just kind of was like, yep,
Gotta do it.
I gotta do it.
Well,
I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I gotta hit post.
Yeah, well, Dave talks about it in the 15-day challenge. He says it, I think, multiple times. He says you have to want it as badly as air.
Oh yeah.
You have to want it so badly that,
and you're willing to do the dance on TikTok and just hustle.
Yeah, that's on, I think that's on day 4 or 5. And it's a quote from Eric Thomas. He said, "Do you
Right.
want it as bad as you want to breathe?
Right.
Bad as air." Yeah, wow, that's intense. And it's, yeah, and it seems like you guys want it that bad.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yep.
yeah.
That's so cool.
I don't want to go back to work, or not childcare, and that's all we're
All we're
qualified
qualified
for.
for.
We've been in childcare for like a decade, so I'm not going back.
Yeah, it's underpaid. In some ways, you know, it's a low leverage, it's one of the most underpaid. I mean, for the work that they do,
For the
it's
work that it is.
so underpaid.
Uh-huh.
But it's also one of those jobs that you know, we talk about sometimes in our training, that's low leverage, meaning you must be in a location, you must be there for a certain amount of hours in order to get paid.
Yep.
And now you can get paid from creating a reel that gets viewed for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, no matter what you're doing. You might be making ginger beer at home, and your videos are getting viewed by thousands of people all over the world. And your income's not tied to your location in a sense. So that's super cool. So for your sort of homesteading niche, and the reason I like to talk about that, or talk about different niches like that, is I think it's good inspiration for everybody who's watching in our whole community to get ideas of like different niches and different interests, and the ways you can take your interests and then speak to them. And I think initially sometimes it's just as like a reporter, more of like a reporter and less of like an expert. And then as you build confidence just from posting that reel a day, you build that confidence, and then eventually it's like, okay, I know what I can speak about. I know how to make ginger beer at home. I know the recipe. I know how to make this taste good. I'm going to speak to this. And everybody who is in our community has something like that. They have things that they can speak to. And sometimes
everybody has information, and
yes,
they could share that information.
yes. And usually it's unconventional, right? Like usually it's stuff you learn at a job, or stuff you learn as a hobby. Yeah, like my dad, I sometimes think about like my dad, like, well, if my dad's not going to become an online marketer, but if he did, you know, my dad has self-learned all kinds of random crap about how to fix cars, and how to, he's an archery hunter. He likes doing archery. And the amount of YouTube content that he's digested and probably forgotten about is more than most people will learn in a lifetime. And, you know, I wonder sometimes, you know, if he really wanted to, he could set up a channel that just shows his archery, and he could even turn it into a business model of coaching, creating a digital course, selling affiliate courses, all kinds of stuff. And it's just I really love how Dave says this. He says it's hidden in plain sight. And for most people, their best talents, their best skills, the knowledge that they would be most passionate to share with the world is just hidden in plain sight, and they haven't found it yet.
Totally. I totally agree with that.
It's cool that you guys have found it. That's super cool. Here, let me put up your or your Instagram so people can find you and say, "Hey, I found you on Wake Up Legendary," and come watch all your funny and entertaining content. I think this really is your Instagram. It to me really feels like the epitome of edutainment, education and entertainment, right? It really is. And we keep harping on this idea that if you can educate people while being yourself and being, I would say, the most entertaining, most best version of yourself, that's where people are like, hey, it's the reason people watch Mr. Beast on YouTube, or watch super like interesting characters rather than watching really boring people on YouTube. It's like, yes, I want to learn everything, but if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna learn from somebody who's gonna entertain me, and I'm gonna laugh a little and like have a good chuckle, and maybe just be like, wow, these people are crazy. Like this is so funny and interesting. So that's cool, and that's have you always found yourselves to be that kind of like entertaining, maybe a bit more bubbly kind of
I would
whatever?
say so. I maybe like out of nervousness, we kind of like just bounce off of each other, bounce off the walls, and people, they find it entertaining or whatever. But I think it essentially comes from a place of shyness, if that makes sense. But
Sure.
yeah, I would say that we've always kind of been flamboyant.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think
I love that.
yeah.
I love that because I wanted to just point out what you just said. Like Amy down here, Amy is she spoke at one of our masterminds and she goes live on TikTok a lot. And she said that's awesome. And I bet a lot of people are thinking this is awesome because what you said is um I'm looking at my screen right now. I feel super present right now. I'm looking at my screen and I'm seeing two individuals who haven't stopped smiling basically this whole show, right? And what I think is so powerful about that is like you admitted sort of vulnerably, but just kind of in passing that, sometimes it's the shyness or the nervousness, right? And there's people in the comments of this show and people I talk to all the time who are like, well, I'm nervous or I'm shy um you know what they say? They say, I have a face for radio, and it's like,
Oh
and it's like,
no!
I
Oh
love your
no!
response. And what's interesting is just how the lens, it's like, I don't have glasses here, but if I had glasses, I'd put them on and say the lens that you see, your insecurity or even just your nervousness or shyness, which I would say, who knows, maybe you feel a little insecure, but it doesn't really feel like you feel insecure about it. It's like you have these glasses on that are like, well, this can either be something that, I feel weird and awkward about, or I can just like, whatever, just kind of smile my way through it
Oh
and
yeah!
laugh
Oh
and
yeah!
be bubbly and have a fun time and,
Use it
you
as
know,
fuel or
entertain
something.
people. Yeah,
Yeah.
use it as fuel. And
Mhm.
if you take those glasses off, then a lot of times people put on different glasses where they see it as insecurity. And isn't it funny how sometimes that gets framed in a negative light and it causes people to not take action or to not post their video because they're just
Right.
too nervous and they just can't get there?
Mhm.
Wow, I think that that's so powerful, and I think, even for me, I feel inspired, and I feel thankful that you brought that point to this show because,
Oh,
man, that is powerful.
Well, we
thanks.
try.
We try. I mean, I think that also there's a fear of negative feedback, and that that also just comes with it.
We've got our fair share of haters, and
Sure.
that'll come. But also, you just gotta
Smile through that too, and just say, hey, whatever. This is kind of. I mean, this is your job essentially. So
Hmm.
smile through it. Like, okay, great, bye.
See ya.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow, that's also powerful because you're always gonna have those people and you're always gonna, Amy is a funny example. I just shared Amy, but I'll share her name again. Her husband Rodney was at the mastermind and he was talking about how he'll watch her lives and be like, want to just jump through the screen and go after the hater, and like defend her and like go after him. And then at the end of the day, it's just kind of like, oh, whatever. These just
Yeah,
block
you have
'em,
to
who
put your
cares?
pride aside for that because we're that way too, where we really get prideful. If somebody comes after us, then
we fight back.
yeah,
We're like ding 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 ding.
yeah,
We're like, okay, I'm gonna comment back, and I'm just gonna
or make a petty reel about it, and then we get
Right.
even more like hate for it. And it's like, okay, that's that, and it's not the route to go, but we still do it. It's but I wouldn't advise it.
No.
It's be petty and prideful about it. It's just letting it go is the best route.
Yeah, but
Sure. Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think some of us enjoy watching content creators get a little petty, but I do think that some of that entertain, especially when you can be witty enough if you can be witty enough to where it really makes them look bad, cool. But
Yeah.
otherwise, just totally move on. Don't even
Yeah.
address it. Don't
Definitely.
reference it, talk about it, anything like that.
Yeah.
So, okay, wow. Well, I feel inspired and fired up and ready to go. Tell for people here who are new, and maybe let's say they're like, if you can think back to day 1 or day 2 or day 3 of the challenge, and they're looking at somebody like the busy homebodies
Mhm.
who are creating content, and they're like, wow, I don't think I could ever do that, or I'm not sure I could ever do that. This is wow. And you know, maybe they're excited and they're ready to go, and they're like, yes, I want to change my life. I want this as bad as I can breathe. And but there, when it comes to the actual pressing post, there's so many things going on in people's minds. Oh my gosh, can I actually do this? What am I going to do if I'm going to hit post? And then sometimes they hit post and nothing happens.
Yeah.
Speak
I mean,
to
that happened with us for a long time. It takes months. It takes months sometimes, or weeks, and to get, you know, seen by the algorithm, the AI or whatever.
You just have to keep going. Even if your reel only gets 3 views, just keep going and don't delete it. Don't, like, out of shame, don't delete it or anything like that. Just keep going, and you'll find your people, because people are always going to share at least one of your interests. That you're always going to find somebody. So I mean, even if it's, I mean, anything, any that you're interested in or you have knowledge about, just keep
People
posting
will
about
find
it.
you.
Yeah, they will.
Wow. Powerful. Do y'all go live ever?
No, we should.
We
but-
should.
Come on, what are you doing?
I don't know.
Maybe
I'm
after
just kidding.
today.
Yeah.
Well, no, I
This
mean,
is-
you have like you're just I imagine you popping on live on Instagram and a lot of people showing up and people
We've
asking
done
questions.
one live,
Yeah.
but that's, I mean, we're I mean, when I say we're shy, I mean, we really, I mean, it doesn't seem like it, but we're so shy. So
Like before the
I don't believe
legendary
that for a
call-
second.
No, before the legendary call, we're downing cups of coffee, we're pacing, we're like, it's pretty bad.
this is like
Yeah,
our
but
second time
I would,
ever.
I mean, maybe, but not in turn. There's a different degree. I don't know. It doesn't present. Let's say that.
Thank you. I think maybe after this, I know I've got a little bit more.
Scream into the.
But I think after this, I think we'd be a little bit more confident to get on live more.
I just don't know what we would talk about.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, a lot of times people get on and they'll do Q&As. You know, there's people following you who are like, "Wow, this is so interesting. The only pancake recipe you'll ever need," you know, or like, "Hey, I tried to make your pancake recipe and this didn't work."
true.
And then you'd be like, "Oh my God, I you know."
That's a good point.
See, people are nervous and shy until the conversation is about something they love and are obsessed with, and then it's like the wall comes down.
Yeah,
that's
a really good point. Good point.
Yeah, it's just a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. Well, you know, that was speaking to those people. I love what you said there, is that you have, and it really doesn't it just boil down to you just can't quit. Like, just at some point, Dave and I have had this conversation. I feel like we've had this conversation many times, and even just other people in our company too. Like, but I remember specifically hearing Dave say this at a mastermind, maybe a year or two ago, where he was like, you know, do I have some skills? Yes. Am I a good copywriter? Yes. Can I create a good offer? Yes. Do we have a great product? Yes. But it hasn't always been great for Legendary, you know, like growing a company, you have ups and downs and rocky moments and stuff.
Right.
And part of keeping your business and enterprise open for business is just outlasting other people who have insecurities and doubts and all of the internal stuff where they're like, oh God, this, you know, our sales are going down. Maybe we need to change a bunch of stuff. And some of it is just not quitting. Like, that's a lot of the game, is I'm just not going to quit. And at some degree, some level, if you show up every single day, it's almost like the only outcome really is that eventually you make it. And some people, it takes a month. Some people, it takes a year. Some people, 3 years. But it's the equation is there where it's like at some point, there's a moment where, you know, you'll figure it out. It's just a matter of time and hours you put into the game.
Yeah. And then eventually you can. So like right now we took a like a 2-week vacation. So eventually you can take time off and you can step back from social media for a while after you've put in the time and the effort,
Mhm.
and you get to where you want to be.
And you don't have to ask a boss. That's
Yeah,
the
you
best
don't
part.
have to ask the boss because you're the boss. It's so funny. So we're, technically we're on vacation. Like, this is the last day we decided. So, we're just gonna pop back on and then continue what we were doing. But
Wow.
other than that, it's awesome to be able to be the boss and say, hey, I'm gonna take some time off. I'm gonna step back, and then when I come back, I'm gonna be fired up and ready to go, and we're gonna have a lot more content where that came from.
Wow. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, from everybody here at Legendary, our whole team and everything, we're super happy for you guys.
Thanks.
Yeah, congrats on the vacation that didn't require a boss.
Thank
And
you.
that's
Thank you.
everyone's dream.
Isn't
Like,
it?
that's
Totally. Yeah,
everybody's
totally.
hope and wish is for that moment.
Mhm.
So congrats on that. We're so excited for you, and thank you so much for taking some time to out of your vacation to come on our show.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
And
we're super
course.
excited because Legendary, it seriously changed the way we do online business in general. So
because when we found Legendary, we were looking for a direction because Busy Homebodies was just kind of a hodgepodge. So
Yeah.
taking the 15-day business challenge, it just helped us
really
refine and narrow it down. It gave us the confidence to open up another Instagram that was even more niched. So it's only up from here.
Wow. Well, congrats. We're excited to see where that leads. And in a couple months, set yourself a reminder, reach back out. We'd love to have you back on the show.
Yeah, of course.
Shoot us an email. Let us know how things are going.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Awesome.
We
Thanks
will
for
be
having
there.
us.
Yeah.
Of course. See y'all. Have a
Yeah,
great rest
take
of your day.
care.
All right. So they are out of here, and you can give them a follow at Busy Homebodies. You can find them on Instagram. That's the best place to go find them. What a cool story. Make sure to go watch some of their reels. A lot of their content is really powerful content, really, really good, creative, unique content. And sometimes that's hard to do. It's hard to get ideas of unique content. So I would absolutely go take a look at that and watch some of their content and how they create it, and just the way that they engage in their content. And man, really powerful stuff. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Wednesday, December 28th. We're almost to 2023. I'm excited. We have a few more guests the rest of the week. We'll head into the new year over the weekend, and let's make the rest of this year powerful and productive, and we'll move into 2023 and have our best year yet. See you, everybody. See you tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern, same time, same place.